Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. The news hit yesterday, worldwide I would imagine, that indeed a decision has been made in favor of Nigeria in the long drawn-out case of P&ID Limited, Process and Industrial Development Limited. It's an engineering and project management company founded by two Irishmen, Michael Quinn and Brendan Cahill. People have described them as shady Irishmen. But the important thing is that the one thing that everybody can take out of this, you don't need to be a legal expert, is that the decision against Nigeria up till now, and they claim, was really arranged and delivered by fraud. Well, that's enough, because I have an expert who will really take us through it. And I'm talking about Wahab Shitu, SAN, law lecturer at the University of Lagos. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. It's always a pleasure.
Our delight to have you. After a long, this has been quite long, and it has taken so very much in terms of resources. It spanned numerous administrations. I think it goes back to the Jonathan era. Tell me your feeling about this, especially against the backdrop of the judge saying that it was fraudulent, and that I think you will tell me about that the company that I just sort of described, Process and Industrial Development Limited, was set up exclusively for fraudulent purposes.
Thank you so much, Uncle Yori. I think a background will be necessary.
Okay.
I think it's common knowledge that Nigeria is faced with electricity power challenges, and we have sufficient quantities of gas that are being flared, causing enormous pollution problems. It is against this background that says this gas can be processed to generate electricity for the benefit of Nigerians and those who make use of power for operations. So, on the face of it, when we say it is an altruistic intention that led to the signing of the contract in 2010, but the people who signed the contract with Nigeria and those who represented Nigeria orchestrated fraud. The company itself was, in the words of the court,
yes,
the British court, was prepared for bribery. P&ID, Process and Industrial
Development
Limited, was a company incorporated in the British Virgin Islands by two Irishmen, Michael Quinn,
yes,
and then Cahill.
Yes.
With the object for what the judgment has now said, to swindle Nigeria.
Yes.
It was a scam.
And this would have been, it couldn't have been done without Nigerians being involved.
Yes. Some Nigerians were involved. Some foreign collaborators, these two British people. And whatever we are saying now, we are not just saying it to defame anybody.
No, the British.
We are saying
the
it.
Irish.
The Irish.
Very important about.
Yes.
Don't call me British, I'm Irish.
Irish. It's not to defame anybody. Even if you go through the judgment, the judge made copious references to fraud, to bribery, to corruption, and to the fact that the entire process of the signing of the contract and the arbitral award was tainted with, was contrary to public policy. You imagine what would have happened to Nigeria if the judgment had gone the other way around.
That would come up with 11 billion.
Yes.
But by the way, it was
6.6
billion. But it was
at 7% interest rate. So today it's about, we are talking of 11 point something billion.
And some people wanted to collect on that.
Yes. So you can imagine our country is facing enormous liquidity problems as we stand. To now say a country like Nigeria should cough out such an amount of money right now, it will certainly render, beyond even the entire budget of the federal government, it will render the federal government's operation prostrate. And so, again, other consequences are already by the award, the assets of the country and all the federal agencies locally and abroad are endangered. Again, our foreign reserves stand the risk of being depleted, grossly depleted. Again, our fiscal and monetary policies will be distorted. So you can see that it has a lot of wide-ranging implications. So I think Nigerians will be singing hallelujah. Indeed now. And thanks to the fact that this is happening in the regime of the man with the Midas Church. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Because we all know that he means well for Nigeria. Indeed. And he can only function if he has resources.
Indeed. But yes. As you have said, but this, if we were to look back a bit to the Buhari administration, they also took a large part in the happy outcome that we're now talking about.
Yeah, of course. Because this was a long-drawn
out litigation.
The signing of the agreement took place on the 11th January 2010. The arbitral award, there was a dispute. That dispute was submitted for arbitration. And the arbitral award came in 2017. The question you to ask is that why did it take us so long to challenge the arbitral award? It was a conscious attempt was made by the Buhari administration. Nearly major agencies collaborated for this outcome. We can reference the input of the Federal Ministry of Justice. We can reference the input of the Attorney General of the Federation. The pioneering role of EFCC under Ibrahim Magu. And also Ministry of Petroleum Resources. And then Federal Ministry, NNPC, Nigerian Limited, all of these agencies, including intelligence, NFIU, all of them collaborated. That to you should dramatize to you the beauty of synergy. Rather than agencies getting themselves involved in needless rivalry, if they collaborate and they harmonize the resources together by way of synergy, you can see what that can translate into. And that's what has delivered this outcome.
Vice Shitu, all of these agencies of government that you've enumerated now that came together to see the final resolution of this case, I look at the whole case as a knot. Now, how did we get tied in this knot in the first place that now requires all of this intricacy to sort of undo and end up in a clear judgment of fraud?
Thank you. Institutional failure. Institutional leakages. And deliberate collaboration to swindle the country. The judgment also alluded to it. The element of greed. The extent people can go because of money.
Yes.
Not caring what consequences will result to the Nigerian people, to Nigeria as a country, and what harm it can cause to our foreign reserves, to our developmental aspirations, and to our image as a country.
Whereas one might perhaps, just perhaps, understand that in relation to two dubious Irishmen. The Nigerian component, what does that say?
No, that says that lack of patriotism. That's how you can look at it. Greed. People wanting to profit at the expense of public good. Without regard to public good. How do you sign such a contract of that magnitude without taking the office of the Attorney General into consideration? How do you sign that as an agency without looking at all the checklists?
Yeah.
We have enough laws here. We have sufficient legislative framework that will prevent this kind of infiltration of our system.
But there was collusion.
Because obvious attempt to subvert the system.
I heard
419 scam.
Yes. Because I've heard an analyst on another station liken it to a house of wealth that is Nigeria's, and that You have a strong man that you've put there. And this very strong man is the very same person who is colluding with outsiders to invade and plunder that which he was put there. So that goes back to all that you said, that we have all the devices if people would only do the right thing and be patriotic and be honest. But this was clearly not done and intentionally not done for gain. For gain.
Yes. Look at the nature of the contract. It was meant to be a gas supply and processing contract. Gas supply. You have the gas to supply as a country. Now, this gas were to be processed. We supply the wet gas, which is to be distilled into lean gas, and then for purposes of generating electricity supply, and the excess to be sold and then exported. That was the agreement. So it means they need. P&ID needs to put in place processing facilities on ground. They purportedly said they secured a land in Cross River. No approval was given for any land. So it was a horse. They didn't take any step to further the terms of the contract. No step at all was taken to establish all these processing facilities that will kickstart the supply of gas. So you can see that from the beginning, the intent was to defraud the country.
And they now turn around and sue
And the agreement was already signed. So they look for clauses of arbitration in the agreement. Because the agreement was to last for 20 years. So, and they say, okay, because they wanted to profit.
So that's why you say P&ID was a company
set up
exclusively...
No engine of fraud.
For fraud.
Engine of fraud.
It was exclusively a vehicle for
fraud. But I'm happy that the UK system is working effectively and efficiently. You see, the problem we have in our country is not lack of resource capacity. It's not because our lawyers are any less brilliant. Our judges, some of the best in the world we have in this country. But the real problem with our country is that our system is not working effectively and efficiently the way it should run. In fact, our system is overwhelmed. Our judges overwhelmed.
And this often works in favor of fraudsters.
Yeah, fraudsters.
Knowing that the system is overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
When did which Nigerian administration now canceled the whole project, giving rise to this claim by P&ID?
I think the whole process started during the Buhari regime.
Okay.
Or
was it Jonathan that canceled?
Yes. Yes, and then all the successive administration.
We're interrupting this program to bring you a live telecast. Our regular programs will continue shortly.
Please, we don't want to see anybody standing in front of the VIPs. Please. Please. Cameramen, please move to the side. After your cutaways, just move to the side. Please. Okay. Yes.
Then Mr. Agri. That is representative of State.
Yeah, Mr. of State. Okay. It's only Mr. Let me just. Borno governor.
Yes, my governor has
Your Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a Nigerite by tradition, as a member of the Borgu Emirate Council, as the Jagaba of Borgu dynasty, who is our special guest of honor today and is ably represented here by the Honorable Minister of State, Agric and Food Security, Senator Dr. Aliu Sabi Abdullahi. Could you please put hands together for him? Your Excellency, Mohammed Umar Bago, the Governor of Niger State and the convener of the first Niger State Green Economy Summit, and his wonderful wife, Haja Fatih, you're most welcome, sir. Could you please put hands together for them? We also like to welcome the entourage of the First Lady and also of the Governor. Your Excellency, the man most of us have been longing to meet and see is here free of charge today. His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, CON. Could you please put your hands together for him? Your Excellency, our Father, the former Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Walin Mina, General Abdulsalami Alhaji Abubakar, GCFR. You're most welcome, sir. Anytime we see you, we smile, and we continue to wonder what is giving you this strength. We'd like to thank you so much. The National Chairman, APC, who is ably represented here today by the National Vice Chairman, Northwest, Honorable Garba Deti Mohammed. You're most welcome. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Niger State, Comrade Yakubu Garba, and his wonderful wife would like to welcome you. The representative of the African Union, Coordinator Green Wall Initiative, Dr. Elvis Paul Tangen, you're most welcome. The APC Chairman, Niger State Honorable Aminu Musa Bobi, we'd like to welcome you. Your Excellency, the Chief Servant, Dr. Muazzam Babangida Aliu, CON, Talba Mina, Sudenginupe, you're most welcome. Our very distinguished senators here present, we have seen Mohammed Sani Musa, CON. We also have with us, we don't know if it's around, Seraki Dixon. Please confirm and let me know. Our very distinguished members of the National Assembly, all present here, the Honorable Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Abdul-Malik Mohammed Serkindaji, and members of the House here present, the Chief Judge of Niger State, Justice Halima Ibrahim Abdul-Malik, we'd like to welcome you, Ma. We also have seated very close to her the Grand Qadi of Niger State, Honorable Justice Mohammed Musa Kigera. And Your Excellency, we have, and we're happy to tell you that we have all members of the Council of Traditional Rulers here this morning. We have His Royal Highness Dr. Yahya Abakar, who is the chairman of the council, the Esunupe. Could you please put your hands together for him? Bagaduji. We also have His Royal Highness the Serkin Sudan Kontagura, Alhaji Mohammed Barao Muazu II. We also have His Royal Highness the Meborgu and Emir of Borgu Kingdom, His Royal Highness Mohammed Haliru Dantoro Kituro IV. And we have the Serkin Zauz of Suleja, His Royal Highness Malam Mohammed Awal Ibrahim CON. We have His Royal Highness the Emir of Agaye, Alhaji Yusuf Nuhu. We have His Royal Highness the Emir of Lapai, His Royal Highness Engineer Alhaji Umar Bago III CON. We also have His Royal Highness the Emir of Mina, Alhaji Dr. Umar Farouk Bahago CON, and His Royal Highness the Emir of Kagara, Alhaji Ahmed Garba Guna Dataru II. Could you please put your hands together for all our Royal Highnesses here today? Your Excellency, we have all the commissioners here today. We have the Secretary to the Niger State Government. We have the Chief of Staff. We have the Head of Service. We have special advisors to His Excellency here present. We have members of the State Security Council. We have members. We have the members of the committee led by Professor Mohammed Soa Usman. Your Excellency, the list is long. I'd like to recognize them as we move on. But I'd like to humbly introduce, working with me this morning, is my friend and brother, Mr. Cyril Stoba from Abuja, formerly of NTA. Permit me to welcome the former governor of Niger State, Senator Sani Bello, who is ably represented by the former Secretary to Niger State Government, Alhaji Ibrahim Matani, is here. Your Excellency, we now like to pray and thank Almighty Allah for giving us this day. We'll be standing up and silently pray for this country, Nigeria, pray for the President, pray for the Governor, pray for Niger State, and pray for the success of this summit. Can we please be in prayers? We are in prayers, please. 30 seconds. May Almighty Allah answer all our prayers this morning. Amen. just Your Excellency, we'd like to recognize former deputy governors who are here together with us today. We'd like to recognize the former deputy governor, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Musa Beto and Alhaji Ahmed Mohamed Kisu. And I've also been told that we have the ambassador of Nigeria, or we call him High Commissioner to South Africa, who is also here with us. We'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much, Shaka. Your Excellencies, my lords, our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the Niger State Green Economy Summit. The concept of a green economy is one that promotes sustainable development devoid of damage to the environment. To put today's summit in its proper context and welcome you all to this first sub-national Green Economy Summit, let me now invite the Secretary to the Niger State Government, Alhaji Usman Abubakar, to formally welcome you to the summit. Thank you. May we appreciate him, please. Thank you.
Your Excellency, former Head of State, General Abdusalam Abubakar, GCFR, Your Excellency, Honorable Muhammad Umar Bago, Niger State Governor, Your Excellency, National Chairman, ably represented by Honorable Deti Mohammed, Vice Chairman, Northwest, Your Excellency, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, CON, Governor, Borno State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Niger State, Comrade Yakubu Garuba, Your Excellency, former Governor of Niger State, Dr. Mazu Babangida Aliu, the Chief Servant, Your Excellency, distinguished senators and members of the House of Representatives here present, all honorable ministers here present, Right Honorable Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Barrister Abdul Malik Sarkindaji, the Chief Judge of Niger State, Halima Ibrahim Abdul Malik, State Chairman of APC, and all members of the party here present, the Grand Cadi of Niger State, members of Niger State Executive Council and Security Councils here present, Head of Service, Chief of Staffs, Special Advisors and Permanent Secretaries, Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum, ably represented by Mrs. Komolafe Olufemi, Local Government Council Chairman here present, our Royal Fathers, Etunupe Alaji Aya Abubakar, CFR, Chairman, Council of Traditional Rulers, Niger State, and all members of the Niger State Traditional Council here present, Head of Security Agencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps here present, our development partners, foreign and diplomatic investors here present, facilitators and resource persons here present, captain of industries, head of agencies and parastatals here present, distinguished invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to welcome you all to the Green Economy Summit with the theme, Sustainable Future, Harnessing Green Assets and Innovation for Niger State Prosperity. It is an honor to stand before you today to welcome all of our distinguished guests, experts, innovators, and leaders of the field of the green economy. The significance of hosting this summit cannot be exaggerated. It reflects the Niger State's commitment to embracing sustainable development and harnessing green assets as a means to ensure a prosperous future for our people. As we gather here today, we acknowledge the challenges posed by climate change and environmental degradation, and we recognize the urgent need to transition towards a more sustainable and environmentally friendly economy. I must acknowledge my principal, the Governor of Niger State, Honorable Muhammadu Umaru Bago, for hosting this innovative summit. This is indeed a laudable initiative capable of transforming our socio-economic development and promoting the sustainable development goals and other national and subnational approaches to mitigating the negative impact of climate change in our state and beyond. Niger State boasts an array of green assets, from our abundant natural resources to untapped potential of renewable energy resources. This summit serves as a platform for us to explore and to capitalize on the vast opportunities associated with green technologies. We aim to develop innovative solutions that will only protect our environment, but also drive economic growth and job creation in the state. By embracing green technologies and fostering innovation, we can pave the way for brighter and more sustainable future for Niger State. We are committed to working in synergy with the private sector, academia, and civil societies to ensure that our state becomes a model of green economic development in Nigeria. In the coming days, I encourage you all to engage in insightful discussions, exchange knowledge, and foster collaboration. Let us harness the power of green assets and innovation to pave the path for prosperous and sustainable future for Niger State. Together, we can achieve remarkable progress in our journey towards green economy. Thank you for your presence, and I look forward to fruitful deliberations and partnership throughout this summit. Thank you.
Please, can you put it up for the Secretary to the Niger State Government? Let me hear you clap for him once again. Your Excellencies, our very distinguished guests, our special guest today is Excellency the Governor of Borno State. We have been told you are coming to Niger State for the first time. Am I correct? We'd like to wholeheartedly welcome you. to Niger State. Like we all know, Niger State is the largest state landmass, arable landmass in Nigeria. The only state with not one, not two, not three, but 4 electricity hydropower stations in Nigeria. Is that why we are called a power state?